After this video, you'll be able to interview like a pro. And there's more to it than just power posing. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Eva, and I'm a career coach and customer success director on a mission to help people build meaningful careers. If you're back again, just hit the subscribe button. You know that you'll want access to more entertainment, inspiration, and practical work tips every Friday. Today we're going to be looking at interviewing like a pro. We're going to break this down into what you should be doing on the day and what you should be doing before to prepare and go in and give yourself the best possible chance of getting the job. The first thing you should do on the day of the interview is dress for success. And yes, I know this is a controversial one. Of course, it matters way more what you say rather than what you're wearing. And although it's not fair and it's not right, people do still care about first impressions. So look like you're putting in an effort. Have a look at the company website to understand their culture, but I would always recommend being slightly overdressed rather than slightly underdressed. Make sure that what you're wearing makes you feel good and confident, and also make sure it's comfortable. It's not too tight, you're not sucking in, it's not too loose, you're not tugging at it, so that it's not distracting, and then you can move on to what you actually have to say. Just taking a moment to appreciate this awesome outfit. I haven't got to wear it since lockdown. It's way too backless for an interview, but hey, that's what a blazer's for, right? And yes, it does matter even if you're doing a virtual interview. And so many interviews these days are virtual, so that brings me to the second point, which are virtual interview tips. And I like to think about lights, camera, action, just like a performance. Make sure the light is in front of you so that you're not just a silhouette on someone else's screen. Make sure that the camera is placed at a nice angle, otherwise you end up with this. I'm very excited to be interviewing for your company. And finally, action, or rather distraction. Make sure that your background is uncluttered, there's nothing else going on. Wear headphones so that you don't suddenly get distracted by the work that your neighbour is doing or their afternoon singing, and make sure that you limit the number of distractions for your interview. Third tip for the day is to calm your nerves. Most of the struggles that people have during an interview are just because they're nervous. So here are a couple of quick tips that can help you calm down just before your interview. The first way to do that is by manipulating your body's chemistry. So research shows that power poses, think Wonder Woman, arms up, take as much space as possible, elbows behind your head. All of this increases the testosterone in your body and reduces cortisol, which is your stress hormone. That will make you go in feeling much more powerful. Another trick you can try, which is along the same thinking, came from my singing teacher, and is actually just exposing your jugular. So they say standing like this with your neck exposed and your arms back, and just taking a few deep breaths there. If you think about it, no animal in the wild would ever adopt that position or stretch in that way if they were in danger. So you're tricking your body into thinking and believing that you are very, very safe in the environment. Final tip, which I have no scientific evidence for, but some people swear by it, is just, can you see what I'm doing now? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but I'm just squeezing my butt cheeks really hard. Apparently that stops your hands from shaking if you're really nervous. No proof whether it works, but give it a try. The most basic thing to calm your nerves is taking 3 slow, deep breaths. Just inhale and exhale. And you can steal some time to do this in the interview. If you've been asked a really difficult question that you're not sure how to answer, just say, "That's a great question, can I have a moment to think about it?" And then just take a deep breath to collect your thoughts before moving on. Make sure you do that before every interview. Make sure that you're not waffling. You want to try and be as clear and concise as possible. What will help you is to talk a little bit slower. Think in your head that you should be talking about 20% slower than you normally do, and also probably around 20% louder, unless you've already been told that you have a really loud voice, but make sure that you're getting your point across. Speak 20% slower, 20% louder. You're never going to feel calm if you're completely unprepared for the interview. Not preparing is preparing to fail, so make sure that you've done the work so that you go in ready. Know what to expect and think of yourself as an investigator. We're going back to junior school English classes, so what's the who, what, when, where, and why of the interview? The who is going to be interviewing you? You probably would have been told that. Get your stalk on, find out about that person, find out about what makes them tick. You don't have to tell them their entire history in the interview, because that's creepy. So we've done the who, the what. What is actually expected from you in this interview? Are you going in to do a presentation? Are you going in and it's just going to be a casual conversation? Will you be speaking with HR? Will you be speaking with your manager? The more you're prepared, the better you can go in and make your case in that interview. If you've been given specific instructions, if you're preparing a task for that interview, please make sure that you've read the instructions 5 times over and asked any questions before going in. We once had a candidate come in who was meant to prepare a presentation on 2 different companies, and they only did one, with the excuse being that, oh, there wasn't enough space in the PowerPoint. Well, you could just add another slide. So make sure that you've properly read the instructions and you've finished the what for that interview. When the interview is, as always, whether that's virtual or whether you're going to interview in person, just be on time. Don't be ridiculously early and be clogging up their waiting room half an hour before, but a good 15 minutes is a solid amount of time to have before your interview. A quick note on the tech. If you haven't used the software that they're going to be using for the interview, make sure that you've downloaded it onto your computer and you've tested out whether that's Teams or Google Hangouts or Meet. Make sure you've tried it out so that you're not met with any surprises. More point on availability. If a business is offering you an interview and you get back to them saying, oh, I can make the 3rd Wednesday of March at 3:45, this is just really going to wind up the hiring manager. You need to be a little bit more flexible. I get that you might have another job and other commitments, but if this is your priority, you'll need to take some time out from work and offer a bit more availability. Finally, the why is knowing why you're going after this role and why you would be a good fit. Make sure you've read the job description and you know how your skills and experience can be a really good fit for the role. So there you have it, all of the preparation that you need to do beforehand, but also the quick tips for how to get you started on the day and make sure you give yourself the best possible chances.